with Jair Alexander on the team, should the expectation be for the Ravens to win the Super Bowl? Now, of course, in the locker room, they're going to say our expectation to win the Super Bowl, but should they be the favorite to win the Super Bowl this year?
Yes. Yes.
Nope.
Why you say that?
Yes. I think with Jair Alexander, they get a huge addition to that defensive backfield, which they already had all-pro Marlon Humphreys. But they get a playmaker back there who a guy, as soon as he gets his hands on the ball, he trying to get to that end zone. Or if he see you running with the ball in front of him, he going to try to take that thing from you. Not many guys like that. There are a lot of guys like that in the league, but Baltimore just got themselves another one. I mean, their defensive secondary was top 10 in the league. What they had, who's their linebacker right now, middle linebacker? But they had a hell of a defense. Roquan Smith on defense, on the defensive end, bro. They got some thugs, bro. And on top of that, you already have that chemistry with Lamar coming in. I'm not.
Why they gotta be thugs?
Man, respect. Hey,
you know what the podcast? You know what the podcast is called, bro.
Hey,
it could be some dogs.
But
hear
me out.
They got college degrees and shit. Charity foundation.
I don't want no nerds on my defense. I'm gonna call them thugs. They're gonna hit you. You try me. You gonna try me. You gonna hit me. We protecting our turf, so we thugging on the field. You feel me? So that's my logic behind it. But you feel me? I think that defense is full of that. And then also, too, like I said, you get the chemistry with Lamar coming in. So I think that might do something special for them. So it's fair to say they're Super Bowl favorites, in my opinion.
I'm glad you mentioned Lamar.
Hold on.
No, we're not going to make it.
Go ahead, Coach. Talk to us.
The Ravens staple of their franchise, they've been around since I think 1996, has always been good defense. When they won the Super Bowl in 2000, they had the number one defense. When they won the Super Bowl in 2012, they had a top 5 defense. They had Trent Dilfer at quarterback the first Super Bowl. They had Joe Flacco. Not overwhelming quarterbacks, but they were just good enough to get the job done with the defense that they were provided. You think back to Tom Brady. He's won 7 Super Bowls, obviously. 5 of those Super Bowls, he had a top 5 defense. Peyton Manning, when he finally got over the hump in 2006, he had a top 5 defense. And then when he won it again in Denver, top 5 defense. Aaron Rodgers, his only Super Bowl, he had a top 5 defense. Lamar Jackson has had a top 5 defense 4 times in his career. And he's only reached the AFC Championship game 1 time. So, yes, they should be at least in the top 3 of favorites to win the Super Bowl. They're going to have a top 5 defense. They're going to be in every game. They're going to be competitive no matter who they play. The groundbreaking deal, the bottom line is if the quarterback play is up to par or not in the playoffs. That's all it is. Because you have top 5 defenses year in, year out. Now you have a running back who just almost ran for 2,000 yards. You have a receiver in Zay Flowers. You have Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely at tight end. You have a great offensive line. There's no weaknesses on the team. 0. There's no reason they should not be the favorite, but the only reason they're not is the quarterback position. And let's be honest about that. So the Ravens defense is going to be off the hook this year. Marlon Humphrey, Jair, Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, it's going to be crazy. Can Lamar protect the ball, not turn it over in crucial times? We'll find out. That's going to be the conversation.
I agree. I think.
Go ahead.
Hold on, Zach. I'm gonna say no, but for a different reason. Yes, Lamar is a different quarterback in the regular season than he is in the postseason, and that's obviously been his biggest thing. But the reason why I don't think the Ravens are gonna win a Super Bowl, they might be favored. I don't think they're gonna get there. There's this dude that you guys are very familiar with in the AFC West, Patrick Mahomes. That shit runs through him. And as long as he is in the AFC, I find it hard after we have a big sample size of it now, bro. Like, the only person to get through him has only been 2 people, Tom Brady, Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow is looking iffy on if that team even gets to the playoffs. The quarterback play thing, we've seen Josh Allen play phenomenal against Patrick Mahomes, and he still doesn't get there. Like, and so you could play your best, and it still don't matter because the dudes in red and white is different. Like, and I think they'll probably run the AFC for a few more years before another team dethrones them. Like, I think that's just how good they are on both sides of the ball. Like, yes, Patrick Mahomes plays a big part in it, but that defense being able to obtain their DC for as long as they did, for as high as their defense has been, like he should have been a head coach by now. But the fact that Spags is still there calling shots, like I don't see any team beating him. It don't matter how good you play. Like the Super Bowl or the AFC, it runs through Kansas City through the foreseeable future, and that's why I don't think the Ravens is going to beat them. I don't think the Bills are going to beat them. I don't think the Bengals are going to beat them. I don't think Texans are going to beat them. Like it's really just the Kansas City Invitational at this point, dog. Like, and I want to see Lamar get there? Hell yeah, but until he shows us differently that he can, like you said, take care of the ball, I just don't see it happening, and I just don't see it happening with any quarterback or any team in the AFC. So that's why I say no.
Can we go back to the playoffs where Lamar drove them down the field to win the game, and Mark Andrews drops the game time pass? Why are we blaming? It's not Lamar's fault. Why is Lamar even?
What happened in the first half of that game?
We talking about the
I'm
first
just asking.
half.
I'm just asking.
Okay, it wasn't pretty. I'm gonna tell you that it wasn't pretty.
All right.
But he did as a quarterback. He got them to the door. The rest of the team didn't show up, and that seems to be the reoccurring factor every year. I mean, Marquise Brown last year? Or Zay Flowers fumbles the ball at the goal line. That's not on him. That's on the team. I feel like he does what he needs to do. It's the rest of the team got to lock in. The defense carries their weight, but if the team don't want it as bad, you're not gonna get there.
I think that.
I don't think Jair really changing nothing. To be honest, Jair not gonna change nothing. He's still struggling with that knee. We don't know what he's like until he gets on that field. Maybe that's why Green Bay let him go. So I don't think he's gonna change it. I don't know. And there is a Patrick Mahomes infight, but you got Josh Allen too. You got young CJ Stroud. You know what I'm saying? There's some dogs in the AFC. AFC the must-watch TV now. So
yeah,
I
think the biggest thing, man, is Aaron brought it up. He said, Pat Mahomes, when you have that guy, there's a big cloud when it comes to Pat Mahomes, Andy Reeves, and the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Yeah, and the crazy part is Pat Mahomes haven't been performing well lately as he's been opposed other seasons. That defense has been
crazy,
carrying them in a lot of games. And it's crazy to say a team is carrying Pat Mahomes, but if you watch the games, like the Chiefs offense is just be like, man, what's going on? And they still win. Like, they got their first loss late in the season last year, and they look like average. They look average. Boy. I would say this, though. Brady had that same type of factor. The Patriots had that same type of factor when it came to Peyton Manning, right? And Peyton Manning, you had to break through. You had to find a way to break through. And that's what Lamar Jackson has. Obviously, Josh Allen too. But since we're talking about Lamar Jackson, that's what he has to do. He just got to break through that motherfucker. Like, he got to look at Pat Mahomes in the eye and be like, y'all, like, we winning. Fuck that. Y'all not losing because of me. It's we winning this matchup, and I don't care how we do it. Like, having that type of mentality. And honestly, in the playoffs, it's been kind of underwhelming watching Lamar just because you just never see him put a complete game together. And I totally get a playoff game is much harder than an NFL game, right? But, especially what Scoop just said, the AFC is monsters. If you know the AFC is monsters, there's no margin for error. And with the talent that you have as Lamar, I think Lamar is the second best quarterback in the league. With the talent you have with Lamar, you just have to break through. And you got D. Henry. Like, all the talent you already said, they added D-Hop. I'm not expecting much from D-Hop, But
Oh, no,
you
I
added
forgot
a
they had that dude.
you added a veteran presence that Zay Flowers and Bateman. They just paid Bateman, right? So you have all the tools, but I think if it's hard for me if he don't break through this year, it's gonna be hard for me to see he's gonna ever break through because you just drafted Malachi Starks, who was a stud in Georgia. Now, college is a lot different from the NFL, but when you're coming into a defense like that, it should be easy for him to plug and play. You got Nate Wiggins on the other side of Jair Alexander, right? I do think Jair Alexander will make an impact. Hopefully, he's healthy all the way through, but I think it's going to be hard to score on that team. I think the Ravens should be favored to win the championship, but if the Ravens don't win the championship, I think it will be on one person, right? And I think it will be Lamar Jackson. And once again, I love Lamar, but there's a lot of games he's just been underwhelming from a playoff standpoint. And if he don't break through, he's going to be the NFL comparison of James Harden, Russell Westbrook, all of these regular season guys that's put up all these crazy numbers, have these crazy highlights, but if he don't go through the chest of Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, he's just not going to be the top of the cream of the crop.